Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast is a Premier Rides launch shuttle coaster at Six Flags St. Louis and Six Flags Over Texas. I've only been on the one at Six Flags St. Louis, so I'll mainly focus on that particular coaster, but the two are very similar to each other, with the Over Texas one just being a mirrored clone of the one in St. Louis. The ride opened in 1998 and originally launched forward, with the ride going up the spike forwards as well, and backwards on the way down, but it was changed to launch backwards in 2012 and renamed Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast. It's located in the DC Plaza section of the park towards the front, and the queue line is pretty long like many other lines at the park, and passes over the park's river raft ride, Thunder River. This makes Mr. Freeze a kind of on its own little island, and you can get some pretty good shots of the ride as you walk through the queue line. The restraints have changed throughout the years, but it currently has a pretty bulky lap bar with a seat belt, and they're honestly pretty hard to get into if you're tall, but give some decent airtime room once you are fully in the seat. The ride also has recently reinstalled the Mr. Freeze animatronic above the launch section, and it doesn't move a ton, but it's a nice touch along with the lights in the launch tunnel as well. To boost capacity, the ride also has a dual loading station where one train can load while the other launches, and once the train returns to the station, the other train moves sideways to be launched as well. The ride's stats are pretty impressive, with a height of 218 feet, speed of 70 miles per hour, one main launch and a booster launch at the top of the spike, one inversion but you go through it forwards and backwards, as well as 1,300 feet that you also go through twice. The ride also features a 90-degree spike in the middle where you reach the maximum height. Now that we got all the stats out of the way, let's see how it rides. The ride begins as you move sideways into the launch track and then launches into the 70 mile per hour reverse launch, and it's pretty powerful with a good kick once you start launching, but you don't get as much of a speed sensation that you get with a forwards launch. The ride then goes into a massive inverted top hat that's both super intense and fun, with some hang time at the top, especially when you go through it the second time. The ride then enters the overbank into the giant vertical spike, which gives fantastic sustained airtime that almost feels like hang time, but straight down with you looking straight down as well. The ride then has a slight booster launch further up the spike, and then you fall back down into the overbank once again, but forwards, which has some very intense positive G-forces, making it the most intense section of the ride. The ride then finishes with a forward run through the inverted top hat, and then back into the launch tunnel. Mr. Freeze is a pretty short ride, but it really does pack a lot into its short layout and is visually impressive too. I think it's easily the best steel coaster at the park with its intensity and fantastic spike, which is easily my favorite part of the ride. I do prefer all three wooden coasters at the park to Mr. Freeze, however, mainly because those rides are all much more re-rideable and have a ton of great airtime as well. It's kind of in the same boat as Batman or Hulk at Islands of Adventure, where it has a lot of intensity, but that doesn't quite make it one of my all-time favorites, like some other rides, but it's still a must-do if you visit Six Flags St. Louis. If you do like intensity, though, it should easily be the best ride at the park for you, or at least probably you'll like it more than I do. It is a clone, but there is only one other clone in Texas, and it's got a very unique layout with impressive and fun elements as well, making it easily the best shuttle coaster in the country. Be sure to subscribe for more content and be on the lookout for more coaster reviews and other theme park videos in the near future.